DevOps is all about tearing down some walls. Normally you have a wall between developers and system operators, and nowadays in the cloud, where we have to build systems that can scale, that are robust and reliable, we need those two teams to work together.
DevOps is, let's say, as the word does explain it, a combination of development and operations. Each of those units in the past had their own metrics. People from development had to develop as soon as possible and at the lowest price. The people from operations, they have to run the application, but they didn't speak to each other. So what we're now aiming at is bringing those people together and then convinced to work together. And one option, one goal is bring applications as soon as possible to the end user. And making the best use of the infrastructure which is available to support that application and that end user.
When you don't do it the way it should be, then it can create more complexity and more problems than it was intended to resolve. So DevOps is a thing, you do it good or you don't do it. Don't do it halfway, because then it won't work and it will create more problems than it will solve.
The risk is very simple. People want to do it in another way, in a completely different way, and they might forget to do the basic things. The basic things that are needed to just run an operation as good as possible and just protect the applications also.
In the first place, a different kind of mindset. We have now more things like agile and scrum development, and DevOps is really fitting into that kind of system. You have to look at a different approach. You have to think, okay, what will I do tomorrow? What will I need tomorrow? What will my customer need tomorrow? So it's especially more than the skill is especially more about how you approach things in your mind.
The actual IT generation, I think there's nothing wrong with the IT generation. The problem is that very often you're stuck with, let's say, political boundaries, or with, let's say, people who stick to their own, let's say, center of excellence for one of the building blocks of the architecture. So those things are, let's say, to be avoided. So that from that moment on, you really can work together and you really can say, okay, let's have a look on how we can transform the operations and the development environment into a new direction, the direction towards the end user.